You know that feeling, right? Your phone buzzes, it's an unknown number, and boom, it's a debt collector. Your stomach just drops. But what if I told you that you could know the rules of this game better than they do? What if you could actually turn the tables on them? Okay, let's get into it. We're going to break down exactly how you can fight back.
And look, this feeling, it's so real and it's so common. This is a real post from somebody on Reddit, and man, it just perfectly captures that sinking feeling, doesn't it? The fear of a lawsuit, the anxiety about your credit score, and how this whole mess could just totally derail your biggest life plans, like buying a house. This isn't just a hypothetical. It's a super high-stakes situation for millions of people. So just for a second, put yourself in that person's shoes. You've got a legal threat hanging over your head, the clock is ticking, and your entire financial future feels like it's on the line. What's your next move? Your first instinct might just be to panic, and that's totally normal. But the thing is, you actually have way more power here than you think. It all kicks off with that first call or that official-looking letter in the mail. And let's be honest, it's designed to make you feel completely backed into a corner. But believe it or not, this is the exact moment where you can start to take back control. So, how do you do that? How do you take control? Well, you've got these legal superpowers you might not even know about. There are two huge federal laws, the FDCPA and the FCRA, and they're basically your shield, and as we're about to see, they can even be your sword. All right, first up, we have the FDCPA. The easiest way to think about this is like an official rulebook for debt collectors. It puts strict limits on exactly what they can and can't do, what they can and can't say. It's built specifically to stop harassment and shady tactics right in their tracks. And then you've got your second superpower, the FCRA. Now this one is all about the information. It makes sure that the stuff on your credit report, the very data they're using against you, is accurate, it's fair, and it's private. If they get it wrong, this law is what gives you the power to demand they fix it. So here's the simple breakdown. The FDCPA is all about the collector's behavior. It's what stops the bullying. The FCRA, on the other hand, is about the accuracy of the data. It makes sure the story they're telling about you is actually true. Put them together, and you've got a really powerful defense. Okay, so now that we know the rules of the game, let's talk about the fouls. A lot of collectors rely on a whole playbook of tactics that are, well, completely illegal. Learning to spot these prohibited plays is your first step to calling them out on it. Listen up, because this stuff is huge. They are legally not allowed to call you super early in the morning or late at night. They can't swear at you or use abusive language. They can't just call you over and over again to annoy you. And this is a big one. They can't threaten you with being arrested or anything else like that. All they can do is sue you. They also can't lie about who they are or the amount you owe. And they absolutely, under no circumstances, can talk about your debt with your boss, your neighbors, or your mom. Every single one of these is a clear-cut violation of the law. Okay, let's tackle a really common question. Say a collector calls you out of the blue about a debt from like 10 years ago. It feels totally unfair, but can they actually sue you for it? Is that legal? Well, the answer is kind of complicated. It all boils down to this concept called time-barred debt. See, every state has a legal stopwatch running, and it's called the statute of limitations. It's a deadline for how long a collector has to sue you. Once that clock runs out, the debt becomes time-barred. Now, technically, you might still owe them money, but they've lost their biggest weapon. They can no longer take you to court over it. All right, so knowing all this stuff is great, but how do you actually put it into practice? How do you use it? Let's walk through a simple 3-step action plan to fight back effectively. Here we go. Step 1, document everything. I mean every single call, every letter, every threat. You're building your evidence file. Step 2, you send the letter. This is a formal, written notice telling them to stop all communication. In step 3, know your state's clock. You have to look up the statute of limitations for your specific type of debt in your state. Seriously, this knowledge is your power. And that second step, sending the letter, this single sentence right here holds an incredible amount of power. When you put this in writing and send it to them, you are officially invoking your rights under the FDCPA. Once they get it, they are legally barred from contacting you for any reason except to tell you they're giving up or that they're taking a specific legal action, like filing a suit. It completely flips the script and puts you in control. And this is why that third step, checking your state's clock, is so critical. Look at this. The statute of limitations is all over the map. In some states, it's as short as 3 years. In others, it's 6. And in some, it's a whopping 10 years. This huge difference means you absolutely have to know the specific rule for where you live. So far, we've pretty much been talking about plain defense. But what if you could go on the offense? Let's level up and look at how you might actually be the one to drag the debt collector into court. So check this out. If a collector breaks any of those rules we just went over, the game totally changes. The law gives you options. You can sue them for damages, you can report them to powerful federal agencies like the FTC and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or, and this is a big one, you can use their illegal behavior as leverage to negotiate a better deal, maybe even get the debt totally wiped out. And if you do sue them, what are we talking about? Well, the FDCPA says you can get up to $1,000 in something called statutory damages. And the wild part is, that's money you can get just for them breaking the law, even if you can't prove you lost a single penny because of it. But then comes the obvious question, right? How in the world am I supposed to afford a lawyer if I'm already dealing with debt? It's a totally fair question, and the answer is maybe one of the most powerful parts of this whole law. Your upfront cost to hire an attorney is typically this: 0. And here's the magic behind that number. The FDCPA has what's called a fee-shifting rule built right into it. What that means is, if you win your case, the law forces the debt collector who broke the law to pay for your lawyer's fees and your court costs. This little rule is what makes it possible for anyone, no matter their financial situation, to get expert legal help and stand up for their rights. So let's end on this thought. The next time you get that call and feel that pit in your stomach, I want you to remember this shift in perspective. Their illegal tactics, their mistakes, their harassment, those things aren't just something you have to put up with. They could actually become your single greatest source of leverage.